Money is supposed to be simple. You earn it, you save it, and when you send it, it should arrive quickly and safely. Think about the last time you tried to send money to a friend for your share of dinner, or maybe to family living in another country. You probably used an app, tapped a few buttons, and assumed the money was instantly there. But behind the scenes, it's a different story. In our modern system, moving money still feels surprisingly slow, frustratingly expensive, and sometimes completely outside of your control. What if you need to send money on a Friday night? You might have to wait until Monday for it to clear. Sending it internationally? Get ready for high fees and even longer delays. It feels like our money is stuck in the past while the rest of our world lives on the internet. This video shows the clearer path. We're going to explore why a new kind of money called Bitcoin was created, what it actually does for you, and how it offers a solution to the real-world financial problems that ordinary people face every single day. By the end of this video, you'll understand the big idea behind it, all in plain English, without the confusing jargon. Bitcoin. The word itself brings up a lot of images, huge price swings, complex charts, and headlines that can be hard to make sense of. It's valued at tens of thousands of dollars, and yet most people still don't really know what it is. We're not talking about the dense, technical explanation full of cryptography and code. We mean the real one, the explanation that actually matters to a normal person with a normal job and a normal bank account. That's what this video delivers, a simple, practical guide to what Bitcoin is and why it matters. Now, a quick but important note, this video is for educational purposes only. We're here to explain the technology and how it works as a system for payments and ownership. This is not financial advice, and we won't be telling you whether or not to buy it. Our goal is to give you the knowledge to understand the system, so you can form your own informed opinions. To really get it, let's forget everything you think you know. Forget blockchain, mining, and wallets, just for a minute. We'll get to those concepts later, but they're just details of the solution. First, let's start with a problem you already understand intimately. Here's the scenario. You want to send your friend $100. It seems simple, but what really happens? You tell your bank to send the money. Your bank then has to talk to a central clearinghouse, which then talks to your friend's bank. The money moves through 3 or 4 of these middlemen, and each one takes a small cut for their service and adds time to the process. Worse, any one of them can freeze or reverse the transaction if their automated systems flag something they don't like, often without a clear explanation. The bottom line is, you don't truly control your money in these moments. You're asking for permission to use it, and the banks and payment processors have the final say. Bitcoin was built from the ground up to fix this fundamental problem of control and inefficiency. Those delays you feel when you're waiting for a payment to clear, they're the sound of the old financial world's gears turning slowly. Traditional settlement systems don't process transactions one by one in real time. Instead, they batch them up and process them hours or even days later. Add in compliance checks, fraud detection, and the fact that the entire system shuts down for nights, weekends, and public holidays, and you see why everything grinds to a halt. Meanwhile, your life keeps moving. Bills are due, emergencies happen, and opportunities don't wait for the bank to open on Monday morning. We live in an era of instant communication, where you can send a message to anyone on the planet in a second. It only makes sense that we need money that moves at the speed of the internet, not at the speed of paperwork. So let's reset. We're not talking about speculation or hype, we're talking about payments and ownership, the basic plumbing of money. Keep that lens on as we walk through the fix. Here's the punchline up front. Bitcoin removes the middlemen. Instead of asking banks for permission, the network itself checks the rules and moves value directly. No one can arbitrarily block a valid payment. Picture a simple line from you to your friend. In today's system, it zigzags through processors, banks, and networks. In Bitcoin, the path is straight. You sign a transaction, broadcast it, and the network confirms it. That's it. Let's spell out the pain of the traditional system. Imagine you need to send $100 to a friend. It seems like it should be a simple, direct action, right? But the moment you hit send, your money begins a surprisingly complex and often frustrating journey. Your intention is simple: get money from your account to theirs. The execution, however, is anything but. First, let's talk about the fees. With middlemen, everyone involved wants a tiny slice of your transaction. A payment processor might take a percentage. Your bank might charge a flat fee for the transfer. If you're sending money internationally, there's often a currency conversion fee, or a spread, where the exchange rate you get isn't the true market rate. So, your $100 might become $98 after a processor fee, then $97 after a bank fee, and maybe only $95 worth of their local currency actually arrives. Each intermediary shaves off a little bit for themselves. Then there's the issue of time. Traditional financial systems operate on business days and business hours. If you send money on a Friday afternoon, it might not even start its journey until Monday morning. Add a public holiday in either your country or the recipients, and the delay gets even longer. The transfer crawls, not because the technology is slow, but because the system is built around institutional schedules, not your personal urgency. Your money is stuck in limbo, waiting for people to get back to their desks. And what happens if anything looks unusual? The payment can be paused for a compliance review. This is a safety mechanism for institutions, designed to prevent fraud and money laundering. But, for you, it just means more friction. A transfer to a new recipient, a slightly larger amount than usual, or sending money to a different country can all trigger an automated flag. Suddenly, your simple payment is frozen, pending a manual review that can take hours or even days. It's a system that prioritizes institutional safety over individual convenience, making it feel clunky and restrictive for everyday people. Control is the hidden cost in all of this. You might see your balance in your banking app, but your ability to actually move it depends entirely on external policies, daily cutoff times, and automated risk flags. When the system decides to lock your funds, you have no choice but to wait. And even when it's unlocked, you're still paying fees for the privilege of using your own money. This lack of direct control is a fundamental problem. You're not truly in charge. You're asking for permission. Here's the route your money often takes, in slow motion. You initiate the transfer with your bank. Your bank sends the instruction to a clearing network, like ACH for domestic or SWIFT for international transfers. That network might route it through another intermediary bank, called a correspondent bank. Finally, it reaches your friend's bank, which then credits their account. Each of these hops adds cost and time. None of them add any real value to your original intention. You just want your friend to have the funds, clearly, quickly, and without a dozen toll booths along the way. And on the other end, your friend waits, staring at a spinning wheel and a pending status. You both did everything right. The system just isn't designed for the world we live in now, a world that expects instant, global, and direct settlement. It wasn't built for you. It was built for banks. Bitcoin, however, was built for something different. So, what is Bitcoin, really? Forget the complex jargon for a moment. At its core, Bitcoin is simply a public, global ledger. Think of it as a massive shared accounting book that records every single transaction, permanently. The revolutionary part? There's no bank, no government, no single company in charge. It's a system run by a worldwide community, open to anyone. The easiest way to picture this is like a shared Google Doc that everyone can see, but nobody can secretly edit or delete. Let's walk through a tiny example. Imagine Alice wants to send 1 Bitcoin to Bob. She doesn't just type a new line into the document saying, Alice sends 1 BTC to Bob. That wouldn't be secure. Anyone could pretend to be Alice. Instead, she uses a special, secret digital key. Think of it as her unique, unforgeable signature to authorize the transaction. This signature proves 2 things: that she is the real owner of the Bitcoin, and that she approves this specific payment. This is called signing a transaction. It's the digital equivalent of signing a check, but far more secure. Once signed, her transaction request is broadcast to the entire network. Thousands of independent computers around the world, called nodes, all look at it. They all check it against the same set of rules. Is Alice's signature valid? Does she actually have the Bitcoin she's trying to send? The rules are open source. Anyone can inspect them, but no one can change them on a whim. The network automatically accepts valid transactions and rejects invalid ones. This consensus is why you don't need a trusted middleman. Once verified, Alice's transaction is bundled with others into a block, which is then permanently added to the chain. This is the blockchain. Each new block locks in the one before it, creating an unbreakable, chronological record. After a few more blocks are added on top, her transaction is considered deeply confirmed and effectively irreversible. You don't have to trust a single entity's promise. You can verify the entire history yourself. This security comes from decentralization. There isn't one vulnerable data center to attack. There are thousands of nodes all enforcing the rules together. If one computer, or even 100, goes offline or tries to cheat, the rest of the network simply ignores them and continues on. This creates a level of resilience that centralized systems can't match. And speed matters. While a traditional international bank wire can get stuck for days, especially over a weekend or holiday, a Bitcoin transaction is typically confirmed on the base layer in minutes. It operates 24/7, 365 days a year, because the network never closes. It's a truly borderless system, built for the digital age. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. Ever. That's written into code. Compare that to the dollar, it can be printed at will. Scarcity plus utility gives Bitcoin a foundation of value, similar to how gold's limited supply supports its price. AI tools now map halving cycles, on-chain data, liquidity, and momentum so normal investors can plan, not guess. When a government prints more currency, each existing unit can buy less over time. Bitcoin flips that script with a predictable, declining issuance until it reaches the cap. Scarcity you can verify, not just believe. Think of it like a digital commodity. Durable, portable, divisible, and scarce. A small amount can be stored securely and moved across the world in minutes. That's powerful in an increasingly digital economy. Smart investing still requires discipline. AI can surface cycles and risk levels, but you decide allocations, time horizons, and security practices. The point isn't quick riches, it's understanding the system well enough to use it wisely. Now, you know what Bitcoin actually is. Next week I'll show you how to buy your first $10 of Bitcoin step by step, using AI to guide you. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Tell me in the comments, what used to confuse you about Bitcoin? Before you go, a rapid recap. Bitcoin is a public ledger, secured by thousands of computers, designed to let you move value without permission from a bank. It settles in minutes, not days, and has a hard cap of 21 million. If that clicks for you, hit subscribe, share this with a friend who still thinks it's just magic internet money, and check the description for security tips and wallet options to prepare for next week's tutorial.